Let's see if this is gonna work, because I don't know if this is, and if it does, I'm happy. Um, but yeah, welcome in when everyone gets in. We're gonna try this. We're gonna see if this one's. Oh, it is working. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. So we're gonna jump into this message. We're gonna get into it. The divine wants me to do a little bit of just oracle using my decks and a few others that they chose. And we're gonna go in. We're gonna see. Um, Here's what's up with the energy. I know a lot of people have been in this limbo state, deeper healing, a lot of old parts of them shedding off is kind of what's been happening a lot for a lot of people. Um, and in that sense, that's really what the divine's been kind of calling me in to check is that on people. So we're gonna go see. I have to sign into that too. Okay, we'll worry about that later. So we have the moon and we have Empress. And off the bat, this tells me a lot that there's a the confusion comes from an uncertainty on how to nurture yourself. Excuse me, I gotta sign into this for some reason. But it is showing. I just left the wrong password. Shit. But it is showing a need to like relearn how to nurture yourself. You know what I mean? There's this whole relearning who you are again that you've been going through for a while, and you're just now getting a grip of how to um really allow things to flow for you. And welcome in everyone. Sorry, I'm using a streaming software. So I had to sign in so I can see the chat on the side here. Um, but welcome in everyone. Oh, and we have the sun. And this is okay. So it's interesting. And I'm picking this up very heavily because this does need to be said. It's like you've become the parent that your child has always wanted. It really is giving that energy that you've just become this motherly figure or this fatherly figure or just this feminine energy of love, of compassion, of care that you've been developing. You're finally at that stage where your inner child's at peace. And that's why this chaos kind of feels like confusion around you because it feels like something should be wrong, but nothing's really wrong. And if you are still going through the cycle of of healing and figuring that out with the sun coming out, that just tells me that there are better days ahead. There is a choice that needs to be made to follow fully with the inner child, with your feminine self. We have the lovers and the devil, which is so interesting how that comes out. Like that is literally your choice. Um, to either to either work with yourself to allow yourself to go through these transitions smoothly, allowing yourself to change, understanding that that process is a very normal thing, or with the devil remaining attached, um, remaining stuck to an old way of being, remaining in the energy of silencing the heart, of not allowing your feminine side to express itself fully, not allowing yourself to really be who you are, and rather being what the physical reality wants you to actually be. And that's hard to because on this realm, since again it is all, I mean, even with strength on the bottom, it's really about calming your nerves yourself and being the soothsayer of your own life because only you know the exact words that need to be said to yourself or to the situation or about the situation around you to allow it to change, to morph, to better out your circumstances. And that's really what the divine's trying to show you at this time is all of these changes that are happening are showing you it's like it's either a conscious or a subconscious way of showing you, but it's I'm even seeing it. It's like they're holding up two options, like, do you want this or this? And you just immediately like, I would rather go this path. And like, okay, you're gonna have this moving forward. What else do you want? And that's just this chaos energy because it's like you get to choose now, and you don't really have pressure to choose from. So you're making this pseudo pressure inside of yourself, or there's some sort of external event happening that's adding this pressure on to get you moving. And it's again, this is really happening for you, and this is in the way that you need to really see it. Because again, this could be taking it happening to you, but we understand that things happen for you. But it's the divine showing you that you need this extra push sometimes. You still need that extra motivation. You have the energy, you have the self love, but there's this procrastination, lack of energy because of a restless body. You could have a lot of trauma stored within the physical form because, yes, trauma does form on the physical. Even if you don't go through any sort of physical trauma, you end up giving off that physical trauma. That's where it stays is in the on the physical. It might leave yourself emotionally, it might leave yourself mentally, it might leave yourself spiritually, but if it doesn't leave the physical, then it's still going to be attached to you. And that's kind of what the divine's showing you is that you're not in fight or flight, but you're in this nasty game of needing an external stressor to push you forward. Like you've grown for that to be your norm, and that shouldn't be it. So they're trying to leeway you out of this. They're trying to push you away from needing to feel that way. Yeah, with the Hierophant to show you that there's a higher way of going. There's a better route to take. There is I'm hearing like a more righteous, a more whole path to really take. One that will satisfy the need for that stress that you have, which you can transmute for healthy ways, and as well moving forward with the self love that you already have. It's really just showing me that the it feels like the stress of the new is too much, so you'd rather just stay in the stress of the old, which isn't bad, but you need to understand that's why the cycle is still going on. This is why things might still be going in stagnant because though you want to move forward, you're not used to that whole new area of stress and you're thinking subconsciously or you're feeling that you need to be pushed further rather than held back to be able to move forward. And this is where that nurturing energy is coming in. That's where the Empress energy is coming in. Can we get two more cards, Spirit? Get one more card. I'll split. I'll split. You're right. Okay. So we have the star in the world. So first off, luck is on your side, is what I'm really getting. With the star in the world, this is nurturing energy. With Aquarius coming out as well, it's all about you. It's really just you needing to know that everything's okay. You have not really been part of this world in the sense of liking the physical games, liking staying blind to them. You're not really one that pertains to the masses per se. You're more of a soul. You're just, you understand that life's spiritual, and that's the path you're trying to walk down. And it's really just about nurturing that path still being on the spiritual path. What practices that do you enjoy of the spiritual journey? Why have you stopped doing those things? Why have you restricted yourself from doing those things? Is it because you lack the material needs? Then why are you allowing a physical need to prevent you from doing a spiritual practice? You know what I mean? Spiritual practices can be done simply from the elements of your own voice and your own body movements, your own language. It doesn't have to have any sort of physicality. The best way to be spiritual is by using the gifts that Spirit has given you already. The ability to pray, the ability to manifest, the ability to talk with the creators that are around you. Um, in that sense. But what's going on with the energy around? Yeah. We have security in home and read in between the lines reverse. There's no hidden message. You might feel like you need to look deeper in for something. You know what I mean? But there's really not. There's like a need for honesty. You're so used to people playing games with you, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, that you yourself have now become that person to also play games on you in that sense. And you just need to be upfront with yourself. And that might be a scary thing for you. But the sooner you can be upfront with yourself, however you decide to do this, the better it's going to be because you're thinking that there's some sort of hidden thing. I'm telling you because that's where your blessings are at. It's this need to just be so blunt, so transparent with yourself that you release yourself from that attachment. It's like, you know what? I see how me doing these things are causing my despair. I'm going to today put it in implement that I'm no longer going to do those things. And that doesn't mean it's going to cut cold turkey instantly. For some, it may. For others, you're going to have to lean off of it or however. These are just things that have to happen. These are all addictions. It doesn't matter. An addiction doesn't have to be a physical substance. An addiction is the energy that comes with it. You get possessed by the energy. You get possessed by the spirit of alcohol. You get possessed by the spirit of marijuana. It doesn't matter what it is. An addiction is an addiction. It's being controlled by that thing. It's being able to feel like you can't operate without having that thing. It's a codependency. That's all it is. And that's okay because, again, we all have addictions. That's literally how this world is ran. You can think of a matrix being an addiction. The input causes an output, which is why the cycle goes. And that's the matrix itself, you know? So don't worry about having addictions. Don't think that you're a bad person for having it. We literally all have addictions. And some people's addictions is simply just being arrogant to the fact that that they have an addiction. You know what I mean? It's this conundrum that you're kind of stuck in where being honest with yourself is really the only stuff that you need to be aware of. But then again, being honest with yourself is scary because at the end of the day, it's you. Yeah, get addicted to water, like what Mark said. But it's like understanding that it's not wrong, but you know that you're a hard person on yourself, and it's using that in a lighter tone. It's like, though I'm a workaholic, though I'm an overstressor, all these things, I'm an overachiever, however, I'm a perfectionist. Why am I doing all these things for everything else but this one point that I really need to focus on? And it's because that one focal point has so much energy. And what I've learned is and even talk to a lot of people about this too. When some sort of task has a bunch of anxiety around it, it's not a bad thing. It's just showing you how much energy is in front of that thing. It's showing you how much you can push forward. When you complete that task, boom, you're able to push forward a lot better, a lot quicker too. But it's that anxiety, it's getting over that fighting. And on the internal, it's breaking the boundary while you do it, while you even sit there and some might say struggle with it, you know what I mean? And you might even give up on it and go back to like pushing it aside, but that's okay. It's a day-to-day battle that you're doing this with. And the divine is telling you that you have time to do these things. You know, you have an eternity. There's no need to worry, you know? But just be careful with yourself. Don't oversteam yourself. If you can do something for if you're trying to do a task, split it up into like time frames. You don't have to do it all at once. And that's what it feels like you have to do everything at once because that's what you're used to living like. And that's this addiction, this boundary, this toxic trait with yourself really that you're trying to break at this time. And that's what it's been like. There's no hidden clues. It's like you already know what's stalling you, what the problem is, but you just have to be so honest with yourself that the solution just hits you and it's like, why am I not doing this yet? Because I've been trying to do all these other small tasks to make myself feel better, but it's this one big one that I really need to focus on. It's this one big one that has caused all these smaller tasks to now seem more important because I'm trying to ignore it. And the more I ignore it and the more I complete these other tasks, the bigger this one task then gets because now it has all this energy from all these other things I've completed. So now it's just a big kerfuffle of I don't know if I could even do this big task because now it feels bigger than who I am, which isn't true, but that's this process that's happening, and you just need to be aware of not making a mountain out of a molehill. But there are a lot of things that are over. There's something that's ending. There's a lot of endings happening right now. We have Saturn, and that's because you've learned a lot of lessons. Things that you built up in the past are crumbling, and that's okay because you're leaving room for the new. Some things you're gonna have to leave out, some things you're gonna have to leave behind. This is all about discipline. This is challenges. These are lessons that you've learned. This is Saturn. Anything made by man will be destroyed by time. Simple as enough. And you have to remember that the man or the mind you were when you were creating these ideas are not the same as who you are now. So those old ideas, those old pathways that you imagined are crumbling because that was the highest that you could have thought of on that level, or that was the best you could have done at that point in time. And now that time's moved forward and you develop new skills, you become better and brighter, those old ways no longer suffice what you do. And even if you go back to it, and that's what some people might be doing is like relapsing or going back to certain things. And it's like, yeah, I enjoy this, but I really just don't get it. Or maybe you're going back to certain things and it's like, hey, I do kind of understand why I need this in my life. So let me use it sparingly and not 24/7. You know what I mean? It's literally, yeah, with the sun and the moon reveal seem hidden and dark. It's like think you're really just going through the cycles. Something's being eclipsed out of your life so you can see a whole new brighter version of what you're wanting. And that's just what I'm getting. Yeah, the angels want you to know that you are protected and safe at this time. The angels are with you at this time. They're watching you move forward. They're watching. Okay, you guys are like screaming at me. The angel deck was screaming at me the second they came out. Because my bracelet, my angel bracelet, has been going off for the past few days, like non-stop. And you can even probably hear it in the videos. This bracelet barely goes off, and y'all already know that. I've attuned this bracelet. I've done so much work with this bracelet to only go off whenever there is divine angelic support. It doesn't just jingle whenever nothing's happening, and it doesn't hit any of the other bracelets either. So it literally, it angels are around you. They are protecting you. I highly advise as well if you struggle with anything, getting bells, either even this type of bell, having it with you, and just or like something like this, like charms or something, and allowing that to like be what you use to help know if the divine's near you or not. Because you can do that thing. You can implement your energy into this and be like, you know what? I want this to go off whenever there's divine support going off. And that's what I've done. It takes a while, it takes attunement, it takes practicing and getting everything ready, but it really shows you when the divine's around you and when they're not. And it shows you that as well, the fact that they're always around you, yes, but when you start seeing how they interact with you, when they really start to develop that connection with you, then you'll start seeing things going more and more. Like I haven't been, this hasn't been going off because I haven't needed it to. I haven't needed that extra divine support. Partially as well because I haven't been calling in my angels as much as I should. Recently, I've been doing that a lot more. Recently, the vibrations are going off. It's true. And sometimes we, as humans, on this plane, be experiencing a human experience, we need that safety net to be like, oh shit, this is what's up. It's the same thing as divination. It's the same thing as coin flipping or however you want to do it, but it's personalized to you. And it's the same thing as synchronicity. It's going like, oh, I'm going to see this color car go by, and you see it go by every time something happens. That's how the divine wants to talk to you. Repetition is key, always. So if you can have something on you that will signify whenever things like that are happening, your journey gets a lot easier. You no longer, though the stress and stuff is still there, trust me, those emotions still come up. It allows you to really focus on something else. Like, okay, so what's going on? I'm not, you're not trying to force something to give you an answer that you're wanting. You're just wanting to know, is anyone here? And really, that's all that they want you to know is that, yeah, we're here. We might not be 24/7 hands on doing things for you, but we are around you because most of the times your angels are protecting you and they're very busy doing stuff of that nature. Your guides, your ancestors, protecting you from other things, from other pasts, from other energies, and all you're getting is like the small bits that they couldn't get, the small bits that were left for you to take care of. You know what I mean? So though what we feel feels very immense, we can't even imagine what's going on externally within spirit protecting us. So just know that you are protected and safe, and that these thoughts are only coming in to almost just to propel you forward, really, to show you the brighter, grander scheme of what's going on. And especially because these endings are happening. And I've been getting this a lot recently as well. November 1st is going to be this new moon is going to be a lot of changes happening for a lot of people. I've been picking that up forever. I've done readings for a few people and it's all come up on that too. And I've just been so called to talk about it because this new moon, a lot of people who've been hearing about the winter glow up, that's when it's happening. October is a healing month, remember? October is the feminine healing month. We've been saying that for a while now. November is the harvesting, you know? And it's during the harvest season that a lot of people are going to be glowing up. They're going to be getting what they deserve because of all the efforts they put in. It's what comes around goes around. It's the harvesting season, and we've been working hard for a while, whether it's on ourselves, no matter how much physical work you've been putting in or however, it doesn't matter. It's the spiritual, it's the actual effort that you put in day to day to truly try and better yourself. So this even goes along with like people trying to like steal things off of contracts for you, like whether it's like spiritual contracts or whatever. There's a lot of greed being exposed, basically, a lot of thievery being exposed, and Hathor is here as well to really nail that in with protection and beauty. So as well as just really seeing yourself in a new light, if you're needing help as well, calling on Hathor at this time would be very good because since Hathor has come out. It is all about relearning about yourself, learning how protected you are, learning new ways to protect yourself, whether it's psychic protection, emotional protection, however it is. There's like a need to learn how to protect yourself in a new spiritual manner, um, where you don't need to like on the ball type, quick stuff. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can just instantly convert these things, and understanding how you're converting energy, and really just I guess like forcing yourself to smile. You know what I mean? Like putting a pencil in your mouth till you smile. Like that energy that's coming through. Yeah, because there's a lot of psychic abilities that are developing. There's a lot of morphing from one version of yourself to another that's happening. And you're in this energy where you're comparing who you used to be to who you are now. And it's because you've mastered who you used to be. And you're able, yeah, and spirit's just bringing you together to allow yourself to be where you're supposed to be. It's bringing you towards your manifestations. It's bringing you towards the energy that you need to be at. But there's this, I want to say, reluctance based off of fear or based off of just like the energy, not feeling like you have enough energy. And that's showing you as well. Like if you feel like you don't have enough energy, it's because your body is drained. There's something about your diet that needs to change. There's something about maybe needing to fast or exercise more and more intake of water. If water is not helping you, get coconut water because and make sure it's organic coconut water because literally coconut water will get you set straight like nothing else. Like I'm telling you, y'all gotta get invested in in coconut water. And we have Pluto coming out with rebirth energy, power, alchemy, the underworld. And the underworld's not a bad place. The underworld is literally a point of resurrection. You know, going back into the history of the Egyptians, even looking at that, like it's important. And especially because Pluto, whenever Pluto enters Aquarius, it's going to be all about you. It's going to be about your shadow side coming out. Um, Heavily. You know what I mean? So being very aware of that, understanding that Pluto is very much affecting a lot because there's a lot of things in the shadow. There's a lot of habits. There's a lot of reversing that's happening within yourself. We have blessings in Venus coming out. Like you are getting your blessings though. And Venus, it does give off love, prosperity. It does give off the love that you've been giving yourself, the feminine energy that you've been loving with yourself, the heart chakra. Um, and I'm picking up Lucifer, but in the sense of Samael, which is the angel um of Lucifer, if you wish to say it that way, which talks all about discovering the secrets of magic, discovering self, knowledge, wisdom. It's all about this higher wisdom of yourself that you're getting. It's this new way of looking at yourself. So pay attention to signs, pay attention to your dreams. You might need to get some dream divination, but as well stay grounded. There's a need to really go outside and get grounded as well. Or doing your own divination or however. But there's a need to really tap in to the element of earth. Whether this might be with work, you might need to step into a more spiritual business. You might need to add more spirituality in your business. You might need to deck out your office, take some sage spray, take some like miniature Palo Santo, do um do something a little bit more spiritually with whatever you're doing, with whatever your job is. Because there's a need to allow the energy that you're already in. Yeah, I mean, the time is now. The time is now, right? For things to get balanced. This is a time for you to really balance out your physical with the spiritual and balance out your spiritual with the physical. Like getting back out in public, but not hiding the spiritual self. Yeah, because there's like a storm, and I feel like that's the storm you've been fighting yourself with the crossroads on the bottom as well. That might have been something you've been struggling with, not really knowing like how to move forward. Or if it's not knowing how to move forward, it's just not wanting or not knowing how to deal with like certain backlashes for how people are going to treat you. Maybe even the past fear of, oh, I'm going to meet XYZ people again who are going to do this ratty ass shit to me again. No, those people are on the past version of yourself, and you are no longer that past version of yourself. That means you're going to it's going to be easier to cloak those people when they come to you. So you don't have to worry about that. All you have to really do is put your focus on the spirit. I'm telling you, because there's a mission happening. A lot of people are getting new missions. It has something to do with the past life, something that was not completed in a past life that you're able to complete this life. Either that or your ancestors, one of your ancestors' life, or it's a family thing, or however, there's something from the past life that's being brought to you this life that you were supposed to experience in the past life, but did not get to make it. That's another reason why people are very confused on certain parts of their journey because, well, in the past life, their ancestors didn't make it this far. No one's ever made it this far in their whole lineage, whether in the spirit or physical. So now that you're here, and you're the only one that's made it there with your lineage, of course it's going to be confusing. You're not going to know what to do because it's not ingrained in your DNA. You then have to upgrade, adapt to the surroundings around you, and that's what the divine's helping you with. So understand and give yourself grace that like all these shaky emotions, it's all like right here popping out. Like all these shaky emotions that you're under isn't a bad thing. It's literally because you've made it to a point of I don't want to say no return, but you've made it to a point that your ancestors have never made it to. You've made it to a point where your family's never made it to. You're down a different path because spiritually, you're more advanced than them. Spiritually, you're more aware, more advanced than they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to accept that and understand that their methods aren't going to work for you. So that's why this confusion's happening because you're trying to rely on these old ways of being when Neptune was on the bottom after that as well. Like it's all these illusions that you're breaking over yourself of, oh, I need to do all these things to get XYZ. You really don't, because again, you're a spiritual being having a physical experience, and you know that you're a spiritual being. And it's just about like maybe you have like a lot of air in your chart, me, or like or just like something about you speaking your throat chakra. You know what I mean? It's like it's so important. Like even soothsaying, like talking to yourself or just like being able to express yourself more. It's like it's coming out this way, and I don't know why the divine's putting on me this way, but it's funny. I've just heard like people have talked about you for so long. Now it's time for you to talk, basically. You know what I mean? Like everyone who signed a contract with you in the ethers, every soul that signed a contract with you or spirit in the ethers that came here and fulfilled their goals that they were supposed to fulfill to not only help themselves grow but also help you grow because in spirit that's how these contracts are made. Because their side is complete, now it's time for you to rise above because everyone was tested. The flesh of did some flesh did not pass the test, some flesh did. It doesn't matter really because it's all about the soul, the maturity of the soul, and that's really the main lesson is what did you learn? If you learned not to do something, congratulations. If you didn't, well then you're gonna be stuck in a pattern. But again, this lost, confused energy, this pattern, it's because you broke free from a pattern. You know what I mean? You broke free from a pattern. And here's the thing, you might have even noticed that pattern trying to come back to you because direction came up. Because there's a lot of people who are focused on your upgrade and they don't know where you're going to go because spell work don't work on you no more. It's all coming out. Like the guilt's out. People know that you're psychic. Like it's just how it is. People know that they can't be around you. And it's not because of who you are, it's because of who they are. They know that you'll clock them. They know that even if they're not doing anything bad, it's this self-conscious energy of, oh, I still do these things, but I don't see you doing them. And that's okay because you're not one to judge people on that. But those people around you have to learn as well not to be so judgmental of themselves. And that's what you're there to do. That's what you're there helping these people with, is learning not to be so judgmental against themselves. Is this all the way out? Okay, it was my bad. But yeah, it's important to remember that. Yeah. So take time to meditate, be still, remember who you are in this time. If you feel empty, it's okay because there's this new leap that's happening, this new energy that's coming in. Fool. This is really the fool card that I made for this deck. Um, but it's really like this brand new beginning that you're able to make, and you really need to be careful. Allow yourself to almost empty yourself out, you know what I mean? So that new can come in. Allow yourself, I mean, because, like, again, it's the thing about, like, God is seeing this. This is all about your glory. You're being seen. You've almost become so observant that you're starting to attach to that. And then on the bottom with Michael being here with truth. Michael is here to help you. Anubis is here with rebirth. You're being guarded. You're being heavily protected. Your heart is. I mean, even with water coming out with the flow, that's giving Sobek energy as well. And if y'all don't know about Sobek, I would definitely do some research about Sobek and understand why he's such a big protector of the Nile and all these things. Because again, it's something about these underworld-esque energies, goddesses and gods that are really with you. I mean, fuck, we had Hathor, Anubis, Osiris coming out. Um, and then Sobek popped in. Like, these underworld goddesses and gods are really here to push you for. They're showing you, hey, you have survived all these things. I'm telling you right now, something's ending. I don't know what else to say. Like, they're helping you move through basically what people would call the valley of shadow of death or dark night of the soul. However, whatever tickles your fancy. But that's what they're pushing you through, is the final stages. The gate is opening. You're not going to the Duat. You're not going to remain in the underworld forever. You're literally moving out. You're going to the city of gold, if you will. You're going to the Jerusalem, really, is how they're putting on me. But you're freeing yourself. So again, allow yourself to have harmony. And that's just what's happening because again, like this came out in reverse again on the bottom. No, like there's no big secret. You've been told everything you need to really know. Um, so don't overstress yourself. Don't feel like things are falling apart to not come back together, basically. Because everything is going to form back to where it needs to be. Things just have to fall apart before they can be built back up. Because again, you built this old character off of you, who you used to be, based off of your old circumstances. That part of you has to like leave. It has to dye or change color, as we are humans. We're man made of different hues, you know. Um, so really allowing yourself to go through that metamorphosis, going through the colors and or emotions and feelings, the ups and downs of the roller coasters, going through all that, and really getting in touch with who you are. I mean, it's right here, divine feminine energy, and then protection. You are protected, and you are okay to feel vulnerable. It is okay to go inside your heart space, to live within your heart space, to allow your heart space to like take full control again. It's okay to do that because what it feels like is in this past situation that you were in activated your heart chakra, but at the same time devastated you because it didn't end out the way that you were imagining it to be, which is fine because everyone has free will. But it's about that heart space activation that you need to get back into because that's what's missing. That's why things aren't able to flourish because you're in this masculine energy of work, work, work. I need to do this. I need to do that. You don't need to do anything other than love yourself and take care of yourself. You know what I mean? That's really all you need to do is really nurture yourself and know that you're doing the best that you can. You can't We can only control the physical so much. Understand, we can only manipulate it so much, and that is up to to the body, the vessel that's able to manipulate how much it's going to be able to. So giving yourself that grace and being like, you know what? I'm doing all I can. I'm doing all my work out of pure love and light. Things are being held back or things are being stagnant for a reason because maybe I need to split something up, or maybe I don't need to split something up. Maybe I need to have more belief in myself. Maybe I need to dump more of my heart into this. Maybe I need to study some more on what I'm teaching. Maybe I need to do something else that allows me to obtain and nurture myself, because wisdom and knowledge are all relevant to a water-based energy, which is also for feminine. It's really about, well, wisdom's for feminine and knowledge is for masculine. Wisdom's more solid. I mean, wisdom is more liquid and knowledge is more solid, excuse me. And the only reason, I mean, it's right, it came out. It came out. Like, there's like, there might be a need to study, maybe doing something new. Maybe this might even have to be like a self-study. Like, you have these gifts, and then, was that new moon? It was. And then new moon wants to pop out. And affluence. I'm telling you, it's this new moon that has a lot of energy that's coming up and a lot of protection as well. But there's like a need to reinvent what you do. Add a different, it's not that your energy is bad, and thank you, Mark. Goodness gracious. It's not that your energy is bad. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, but there are ideas that you're wanting to implement that you're not doing just yet. And the second that you do, you're going to release this brand new energy. It's about not caring if how stupid you look. I'll give a good example for this because I went through something similar to this with this 2 nights ago when I DJ'd. So I was the last person to DJ because I named the name of my set Resurrection, and it was basically me getting back into the scene, getting back into comfortability, surviving what I survived, and giving that love back to people. And not that many people were in the audience, but I still acted as if there were like millions of people. I was screaming, I was trying to get the cloud hat by clapping and stuff. Even though the crowd didn't react, my energy was still there and doing what it needed to do. And people came up to me and said, I don't even know, like, you seem like you were like famous or like a professional going up there. And that's the thing. It's the energy. It's the fact that you can already do these things, which makes you an expert to some degree at what you do. Run off of that energy, have faith that it's going to work, and just call in the divine whenever you need help. Don't look towards man all the time. Always go, hey, like, divine, help me. I need help with this. Because even that's what I did. I sat outside before my set. I meditated and I was like, I called in my Orishas. I called on the Ashuns. I called on Anubis. I called on the Most High. I called on my angels. And I was like, listen, y'all need to come here and help me. Like, I'm fine. I know I'm fine. But I want this to be something that we work on together. And when you call in the divine and use the divine, um, you know what I mean? Yeah, see, I get that because it's a hard thing because we're not taught to really nurture the divine feminine side of ourselves. So it's again just like giving yourself that like relaxation, like you're okay to nurture yourself in this ways. It's okay to really loosen up. There are people who are gonna exist that are gonna push buttons and be weird and try and get at your feminine energy to get you to act out in a darker feminine way, but it's okay because that's part of your growth. How do you know how to control the beast and to tame the beast if you are not in combat with that beast? You got to get burnt a few times by the sun before you understand how close you can get to it. You know what I mean? You have to do these things. It's the testing process. The only way to get true knowledge and wisdom is by experiencing these things. And if we can't learn how to experiencing ourselves, which is completely fine, which is why we're here on the physical as well, it's so that we can have a reflection of ourselves, someone that can get that reaction out of us and allow it to be in a healthy way for we so we can self-reflect and be like, I can't react this way right now, or I feel like I should just react this way or get something off my chest or XYZ or express myself in whichever way I need to. It's there to help. So allowing yourself to really just step into that feminine energy. And the feminine energy isn't always about like sitting back and relaxing and attracting. The divine feminine energy is really about working with the heart space, working with the subconscious, working with really the matrix. And that's the good part. That's another thing. Like we always have to remember that we are both divine masculine and divine feminine energy within one. The only difference that there is what the flesh wants to extrude. We both have divine feminine energy in us. We both have divine masculine energy in us. The divine energy just means to divine, to remove off divine, to separate. So when you use your divine feminine energy, what you're doing is you're separating your flesh from your spirit with that feminine, and you're allowing your feminine energy to flow forward and move. With the divine masculine energy, you're allowing yourself to detach and work and do things on the physical with that same divine energy. The only difference is you're detaching yourself from the source so that you're able to do those actions. You can always revine, you can always get a new attachment with divine, but you must divine to grow. You must divine to get the fruit. You can't. You mean you can eat a grape off the vine, but it has to come off the vine. You're not gonna eat the vine, are you? I mean, you might. I'm not here to judge. But it will always be take took off the vine no matter what. Even when you're chewing on the vine, the grape's no longer gonna be attached to it. You know what I mean? Like there's that's what it's talking about. So really understand that when you detach from the divine, it's not saying that you're leaving them because in actuality, we're already detached from the divine because we're in flesh and not attached to the source, the Almighty. You know what I mean? So we're already divine enough. So it's a need to really understand that since we're like that, and we get the idea already, we can just divine that energy from inside of us and go, okay, so I got this idea from the divine. Let me remove it from the place that it's inhabiting so that I can actualize it, so I can realize it, so I can put it into action and play with it on the physical. So allowing yourself to be more lucid with that. We have healer and past life. 'Cause there is something about like past life healing gifts that are coming back as well. Past life wisdom, knowledge, just really being able to heal. And that's really all it really like a divine feminine energy is. Divine feminines in that sense are teachers. They're healers, they're educators. They were the ones that taught how to make clothing, how to speak languages, all of these things. And that's what you have to remember with this is that your inner teacher is waiting to come out. Whether whether it doesn't even matter what it's about. It could be about car mechanics or it could be about spiritual esotericism. It doesn't even matter what it's about. It's about healing. And healing doesn't just mean helping the heart space. Healing can be a mental heal, a physical heal. However, there's layers to this. You know what I mean? So don't just apply it to only spiritual things. Yes, it's a spiritual thing, but it's a spiritual thing that once it comes to the physical has a whole new meaning because then that's when you take control of it with the divine. You become the co-creator and and have the divine assist you as you assist the divine. So allow yourself to heal others' minds, brains, their nerves, their flesh, however. That's all these things that are happening. So allow yourself to really, yeah, I mean, it's right here. Gratitude and karmic past. Show gratitude. Again, I like how that's coming out. And it's with Saturn as well. Show gratitude for the lessons that you had to learn because you would not be this healer who you are today. And being someone who's in a healer position, and soulmate wants to keep coming out as well. You might be meeting a soulmate. Your soulmate might even be a healer, but it's coming out. It's popping out all out. So like you might even be meeting this divine feminine counterpart that you need, or meeting someone that's going to allow you to experience that divine feminine energy. That's going to bring out that love, that nurturing that you needed to give yourself from an external source. Because again, sometimes we just need that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with needing something on the physical because if it was, we wouldn't be on the physical in the first place. It's okay. It's okay to want physical things. We're here on the physical. It's okay to indulge in it. The only thing that's not okay is to be ruled by the physical. We shouldn't be praising false idols, but if you want to live the comfortable life, then it's okay. Yeah. You can have the things that you want on the physical. It's okay. That's part of the spiritual journey is detaching from needing things to be one way and understanding that you're here for a reason and your desires aren't bad. Your desires are simply what you desire. And you came down here to live out your dreams and it's all these things that we're told materialism is bad, but you're not one of these people that hoards things. You're not someone that keeps things to themselves. You're a sharer. You give things to people. That's showing that you don't have that materialistic trait because you're not just buying a bunch of shit and hoarding it. You're giving. You're giving to yourself and then you're giving the others. And that's the best way to be. Like let's just get real with it. So there's not a bad thing to want things on the physical. Always show grace for that. Maybe this karmic path proved that to you. Maybe this karmic path was like, damn, I really want to go all these places. Maybe I want to travel. Maybe I do want to have that lavish life. And that's okay. But be honest with yourself with what you want. And if you don't want it, that's okay too. We're all here on different lessons, on different journeys. Do what you feel called to do. It's perfectly fine. But just don't allow yourself to feel like obtaining things on the physical is like a bad thing or a thing that will withdraw you because that's not true. In the realm of infinite possibilities, why limit yourself to just one? You know what I mean? And I'll always be someone to talk about that. And again, it's Earth. There might be an Earth sign soulmate coming in, or there could be like an Earth sign coming in to really allow you to experience life. You know what I mean? And soulmate doesn't have to be like a marriage. The soulmate could just be like a twin flame, a really close person. A soulmate is a part of your heart. It's a part of your soul. It's a soul fragment of you that has done things that has like the opposite of you, basically. You know what I mean? They're able to fill in what you don't have. So just be open to receive from people. Be open to just meet that random angel that has just incarnated or it just came down into a body to bless you. Allow that to just happen. We have nature spirits and transmute. So again, you might need to go out in nature, transmute some energy, ground, go out to trees, hug some trees, talk to them, connect to nature. Really just like allow yourself to let the nature spirits cleanse you. If you have a gnome, gnomes are good protectors. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that too, releasing that type of fear because it's either because I mean everything starts from home, everything starts from family, but it's something that you really have to heal because it's what this realm needs. Um, because I mean Earth is just heart spelled in a weird way, and you know, I think they're called anagrams if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what they're called. Um, but it's really about healing the heart space. Here is such a loving because it's like yes, this first physical realm is supposed to be hell, but it's not supposed to be this bad. It's supposed to teach you how to love yourself again. It's supposed to teach you how to heal, how to stop. If you really want to get into it, we can get into it like that. I'll probably have to do a video about that on a different date though, because I love the way that the divine has put all these words together and just how words are. Because I mean, English is just phonically reversed Hebrew, and all Hebrew is Arabic. Um, so it's just really learning where everything's are coming to. But it feels like you're just being guided right now, which is again why you're so heavily protected. You're not on the wrong path. You're doing everything that you need to do in the time that you need to do it. Just allow yourself that grace. And especially if you do healing practices, do those healing practices on yourself as well. Don't be don't be like, "Oh, I can't like oh, I can't pull cards on myself because I'm a tarot reader." Yeah, you can. You can, of course, you can do that, or you can do Reiki on yourself to alleviate that stress and stuff on yourself. Of course, you can because if you can heal it from yourself and if you can do it on yourself, then you can sure for sure do it on other people. You know what I mean? Using yourself as that test dummy, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're going through a transformation. You're going through a huge transformation. Just trust. Just allow yourself to trust. And a big reason why people don't work with Santa Morte is because people want to have um the whole war on things being good and bad instead of realizing that a coin has two sides. Um, I mean, I work a lot with Anubis and a lot of the underground gods and goddesses, so I understand completely how that can come off as weird. But it's all about the journey that people are on. So though it's like that might be something that you have to do is allow people to see the brighter side of working with these deities, with these energies, with these forces, and showing how they can better your life. Because all we experience really are people who use it to ruin others in that light. So being that beacon of showing people, hey, I mean, it's right here with air. You might that's something that you might be feeling called to talk to. You know what I mean? Exactly. Everyone has their own Satyr master. Everyone does. Like it's really about if you see such a battle against it, be that person to stand up and be like, you know what, I understand the point why everyone thinks it's bad, but I'm gonna show you why it's actually not always bad. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, everything only exists because the Most High, Mother, Father, said so, because they allowed it to exist for the betterment, and it's only man that will perturb and distort and pervert what that original source is, which is love, which is support, which is nurturing. So, of course, once one side is formed, you come here on the realm where duality exists, then you're going to have a complete opposite of people using it for an exact way. But yeah, everyone will work with every deity eventually. At some point, people will really understand that there is no difference. That's what Atlantis was trying to bring. Unfortunately, a lot of us failed our mission in Atlantis, and it wasn't our fault, but a lot of us were falsely accused, especially the Egyptians were falsely accused of teaching dark arts when we were actually teaching the arts of resurrection and mummification that were then seen used by Tibetan monks and those from the Asiatic areas in different ways, as well as people going into necromancy and all sorts of shit. So it's really healing that trauma by being that beacon of light by saying, yeah, that's what we learned from Atlantis. But what you're not seeing is what we were actually trying to teach you, which is the wholeness of it, of teaching, hey, you can use these things to help you. Like shadow work is necromancy, by the way, because you're going back into the past to bring it back to life, which is the present, to then heal from it and then move away from it. That's necromancy in a positive sense. There are sides to this. It's the spectrum, and what we need to realize again is that there's a array of color, which is why I've been really talking about it recently, is because there's a spectrum of this stuff that we go through. It's the label, but it's how you where do you put the label? Do you put it on the brighter side or the darker side of things? Like that's where your focus needs to really be a mind at. And even then, not being afraid of the dark because you can see more when the moon is out than when the sun is out. You can see all the stars, all the different planets, all the quasars. You can see all sorts of shit flying through the sky at night, you know? But during the daytime when the sun is out, you don't see that much. All you see is the same mundane. You don't see the things that really excite you, the things that really calm you. It's in that darkness where you find yourself. And that's the beauty of it. We're light workers. We work with light. That doesn't mean we work in light. Bitch, we're the light. We have to go to the dark. We gotta go to the unknown because that's why it's there because it needs light and we're light workers, so we go there to work with the light and we work with the shadow. We bring light to the areas that aren't meant to look that people don't look at, and it's to heal. And even if people don't pay attention to it, the fact that one person did, it adds it to the collective conscious, so the collective conscious itself can evolve and grow into something bigger. I have not personally, I have not, but I have had run-ins with Baphomet before. And Baphomet was an interesting experience, I will say that. But this is a time for to like relook at your boundaries. You know what I mean? But I do know a lot about how Lucifer's the lighter spectrum of Lucifer's practices as well. I've looked into a lot of this stuff personally, and I see the benefits of working with these entities. It just comes down to like the personal preference. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like again, because you have to remember, though we say Lucifer, it's Samael, it's the angel. that teaches. I mean, I can pull them out right here in the Angel Tarot deck, just as the same as I can pull them out of the Demon deck, because there's two sides of the coin, and all Samael was doing was an educator of the arts, that then got jealous and then became what we know as Lucifer whenever he took I believe, the cherubim, um, and created what we know as the war between heaven and hell. Uh, but that was when they left and fell from being Samael to Lucifer, because we all have different names. We have an angel name, we have a demon name, we have an intergalactic name, we have our God-given name, we have the fucking name that we're put on Earth with. We have all these different names that no one really pays attention to. Um, but yeah, it's all part of us. We are not separate from it, and that's something that on the spiritual journey, when you really get used to, because here it is right here, Samael, the severity of God, seduction and downfall, communicates with the dead, teaches the occult and magic. Samael energy can also be seen as almost like a Lilith type energy, where it's the seduction and downfall, where you can see it, like Samael allows you to see like where you messed up at. It's that dark reflection. It's all these beautiful things that when going on the spiritual journey, when you open up, when you set new boundaries, when you stop allowing things to be defined as good and bad and you see them as they are, it allows you to really heal. So it's like that's the beautiful part about it. And especially like when speaking about that with angels and shit, like y'all already know what Michael did. Y'all know that Gabriel is also an angel that even though can come down and tell you like good things, Gabriel can also be the one that gets you to go down the path of lust by giving you certain ideas of, oh, you should do this idea instead. Maybe you should do that. That's also an energy that comes from Gabriel, because Gabriel is the messenger. And when you receive that message, the angel and the devil pop up on the shoulders and they start talking to you, the heart and the brain, and you get these two ideas. You know what I mean? That's the same energy coming from Gabrielle. It's just been split, quartered, Ace of Cups split into four into your heart, and then that gives you all these other ideas. It's beautiful. But it's genuinely how this shit works. And the ones that know. For the ones that don't, it might sound crazy, but good. I'm glad you think I sound crazy, because that's what keeps me running and going up in here. Because if everyone took me too serious, I'd probably be gone by now. You know what I mean? Because I drop some shit that people don't really talk about. But it's important to stay grounded during this shift, because during this shift, you're kind of seeing where these old boundaries. Um, yeah, and it's about fire. Getting your fire back, getting your fire. I have not worked with them now. Um, but it's about this passion. It's again solar plexus energy, really, really heavy solar plexus energy. It's really about allowing yourself to reinvent yourself. That spark's coming back. You've just had a rest. I was gonna say give it time, and there's time right there. And the talisman, you have the key. And again, talking about the bracelet, if you need to get like a charm or something, definitely go get one. But it's time. You have the key. Spirit just needs you again to meditate and have courage moving forward. And who are you? Yeah, because there's a veil that's being revealed. Oh my goodness, Papa Legba, let me tell you, Papa Legba will be the one I go to for any type of door opening, any type of path clearing. Like, listen, some of y'all only know the crossroads about, and I'm glad you're bringing up Legba. I love them. Listen, some of y'all only know the crossroads for like necromancy and graveyard work. A crossroad is whenever four roads meet. So you could go downtown and see where fork roads are at. That's a crossroad. Crossroads are crossing points. That's a decision maker. When you're stuck, it's because you've been crossed. And these like entities that people use to block you and stop you can literally be used for the exact inverse. The only way they can block you is because they have the ability to understand how that lock works. They can unlock things just as easily as they can lock them. Um, do your research for Papa Legba. But Papa Legba is, oh my god, because this energy is coming in heavy right now. Jesus, man, y'all got me saying his name too much. Now he popped up and said, "What do you want?" um, but he is an ancestral god, most commonly known um with the Oshun or the Orishas, and he is the crossroad. He is someone. He can think of him kind of like Anubis if you need to really say it, more of an ancestor than a deity. Um, but he is for the underworld. He is a cross. He protects the graves. He's one to open roads. Keeper of the keys. Yeah, literally. Right as you typed it, I was saying that. Let's go. Keeper of the keys. Oh my god. If you need something locked or unlocked, Legba's one to go. But do not just start using Legba because you didn't uh oh, you might need to go to a tree at the cross. If you know where that crossroad is, go to a tree that's near that crossroad and ask them what's going on, because that could be some sort of like ley line issue or some sort of uh energetic servitor around the energy or something. So get in contact with like the nature around the area if that's happening, because that could be a sign for you. Or just like talking or like something about energetic shifts happening around the area. But yeah, it's really realizing that, 'cause I don't know, because it's like if you I'll even talk about this because it came up with jar magic, because people think jar magic's all bad. Jar magic can be used as for protection too. You can use jar magics to keep people away for good. For like light purposes, you can use money jars. You can make money jars. You can make all sorts of shit. You can make protection jars, self-love jars. You could like it's all these things that you can make, but people only focus on the one side of it because they only get affected by it in that nature. There's a whole other side. That is true, Daniel, true. But get to know these entities. I'm telling, with this sort of light, this is the truth. I'm not even trying to like preference something here. I'm telling you, divine purpose, cut cords, breakthrough energy. Michael's sword. The truth is here. Like this is all things that on this spiritual path you learn. And with the Akashic records coming out, clearing old stories, releasing past lives and freedom, it's about finding this new version of yourself. And yeah, if it's your first time shifting, then yeah, I can understand how it can be freaky, but don't allow that shifting to make you too unstable. Understand that you're shifting into something better. Understand that these shifts happen for a better thing to happen. So even though things around you might crumble, um, that just means that better things are coming in. And exactly, yeah, you can cleanse mirrors with holy water. You can um you can use Pine Sol, because Pine Sol is so funny. The cleansing product Pine Sol is literally one of the craziest like hoodoo cleansing shits in the world. Like if you want to cleanse your floors in your shit and make sure that there's no entities, literally just get Pine Sol. I'm not even joking. That is one of the strongest hoodoo items that is sold on the not one of the strongest, but it's like that's marketed the way that it is. You know what I mean? like it's there, like Florida. Even it's like you can wash your floor with Florida water or Pine Sol, like genuinely, if you need to get rid of it, if you need to get rid of stuff, wash surfaces with that stuff. Like it's incredible. It's you're now that you're done the halls of learning. I'm telling you, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. Now that you've learned all these lessons, it is time to use them for light. Now that you know what the dark does, now that you know that that stuff's capable of one side, and you know who you are, now you can flip it to the other side. Now you can start using their own tactics, but for your good. And because you know that you're stronger than all these people that have gone against you, what the fuck are they gonna do when you start doing that shit for light, for protection? They ain't gonna be able to put a fingerprint around you. You know what I mean? That's what we're here to do, is to teach. And again, like a lot of us are still suffering from the fall of Atlantis, especially if you have these Egyptian deities and goddesses and gods who are around you and guide you. It's because you are here to show, like to show people again that these arts aren't bad. It is man that makes it bad, and that these practices were sent from the gods so we could use them. You know what I mean? It's beautiful, and it's this healing that's going to happen. We have sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality. So there is a need to get more sensual with yourself. You might be having increased libido as well. That always comes out with sacral chakra energy. But just allowing yourself to just express yourself the way that you need to. Don't allow guilt or shame or those low vibrations to attach yourself to it. You are here to experience yourself. There are such things as sexual goddesses and gods. Allow yourself to do what you got to do. Just be protected with it. Just know what you got to do. That's all. That's really all it is. You know what I mean? It's so important to, and yeah, exactly. I'm gonna call you Kate because I don't know how to. I can say Yogan. Yeah, but seriously, like knowing how to work with these entities, it's not all like bad. And we have I am presence. Light body activation is accessing the divine within. You literally like you allow yourself. I just it's I can't. It's all like right here. It's really just an activation of who you are again. It's realizing that you have all these powers. You have all this ability to change things. You are the co-creator of your life, and your opinion does matter. Your action or inaction, depending on what you're doing, does matter. And allowing yourself to be okay with it in a non-judgmental way, allowing yourself to go, you know what, maybe I should work more with my goddesses and goddess more. Maybe I should branch out and experience more. It's getting in tap with your roots. Don't be afraid to talk to these entities, these deities. Oh, that's not on another level. This is the same level. We this covers when I talk about things, I talk about them on a higher level. So they might not sound like these things, but they are. You can use the energy from monitoring spirits to boost you because you can tell when they're acting. You can tell when people are harvested by these entities. The questions that they'll ask, the way that they'll be in your face proves that there's some sort of entity on them. And all you really have to do is allow yourself to be aware of that energy and convert it into your own. Now, how do you do that? That's up for you to learn how to transmute because again, every flesh is different, but it's about like you getting your brand new success. It's not giving your energy to these people that harvest them. um and as well, just like looking up all these things. What else was I gonna say? Like again, with talismans coming up, like protection even. um just having some form of protection, some sort of mojo bag or something, you know what I mean? Or just anything within that right, just to add an extra layer of protection on you, like like subconsciously or consciously, asking the divine to be around you whenever you move forward. In energy shields, exactly. Imagining that there's glowing lights around you and everything, keeping yourself shielded 24/7 is totally something you can do. Um, You might need to sage your house then, Mark. Those black flies, if you have a lot of them, I'd probably like sage or something. And not to say that there's nothing around there, but still, just like it does keep those pests away. Saging does a lot because even though they might not be drudged up by a negative energy, they can bring annoyance, which is a lower vibration, so it can help get rid of them too, or like something like that. They were begging to get in your house. That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, just do some spiritual cleansing. Even if it's not like a spiritual attack or anything, you can still use spiritual cleansings to get those into to get that away because if it brings the energy of like agitation or a lower vibration, you can still use those spiritual practices to get rid of it because all you're doing at that point is focusing on the energy of that. As well as calling on spider goddesses and gods as well, or any sort of goddess or god that represents a predator to that animal or insect or whatever that's coming in. You can use their help as well to also keep those away. That or it'll bring more in for like a transmutation type energy. But regardless, there's so many ways you can go about it. You can exactly, Daniel, exactly. But you can do those things. Um but you can there's so many different ways you can like actually protect yourself, but it's so important to, even when you feel like something's going like awry or you feel like something's going wrong or even when you feel like something's going right, don't just do it when things feel wrong. Do it when things go right. Do it when things aren't moving. Do it when things are moving too quickly or however. Just always allow the divine to know that they can like intervene, be like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, what's going on here? If you guys could help me or move things around or show me something, I'll be grateful. Like, allow the divine to co create. Because again, even though you're the creator, don't forget that you're still co creating with the divine. The divine is giving you the energy. And as long as you're staying in that co creation energy, things you're gonna be able to grow. I love, I love, I love. Okay, you're on one. I like that. I love everything you're about right now. Genuinely. Um, but we have the central sun, abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. There's a lot of success coming to you. There's abundance coming towards you. Um, there's like again this regeneration. It's the scarab. And the scarab was always placed over the heart to keep it protected. It was placed within the heart, I should say. But again, it's getting raw energy. So that also comes with Sekhmet, with Isis. It comes with the nine. If you don't know the main nine, I would look them up and understand with those nine that a lot of Egyptian goddesses and gods they go by many names, not just one. So whenever you see, for instance, because we're Anubis over here, since for instance you'll see Set. Set is also Anubis. Anubis is also Wepwawet. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce one of them, but I think it's Kefnafum. Um, God, what are all the names? There's two others. I can't remember their name off the top of my head right now because it's not too important. But they have different names. They root from one. It's it's the anamorphical body that they represent. It's the shadow and light versions of them. So it's very important. Dog, yeah, exactly. Dog or four-legged angels. But we have Holy Grail and Orion. I fucking love how I was just talking about Anubis, and then Orion activation came out. And if you didn't know, the constellations of Canis Major and Minor, that's Anubis, and I believe Wepwawet, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Minor is Wepwawet and Major is Anubis. Anubis also stands for week because it took the embalming period, took a week. So all these things, like do your research on this stuff because it's all there and it's very intriguing and it goes super deep and it's so important to know these things. I have literally like I have so many like ideas for videos to talk about for shit. It's just too much knowledge, not enough energy within one vessel. But we have Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. Whatever you're looking for is looking for you. Genuinely, fully, wholly. Fill your own cup first, though, because when you are looking for something and then you end up giving it to someone else, or you end up like, oh, I could do these other things too, what you're doing is you're taking the energy that was supposed to be to fill your cup and you're giving that to others, and your cup isn't even full yet. It's the airplane rule. Put your mask on before you assist anything else, excuse me, anyone else. Always, because if you are not in that correct position to help someone, then that's just a selfless sacrifice. And we're not here to be selfless. We're here to be whole. We're here not to have any sort of lack in us at all. We're here to realize who we are so we can grow and evolve and eventually enter the rainbow light body and escape this plane. It is so important. But Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by light. You're coming back. And I heard with the vengeance, I heard something about a vengeance, but again, Orion talks a lot about manifestations. We have the crown chakra on the bottom, divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energy, and on the top we have Horus. What's going to come out so much with the Merkaba and the Black Egg? So this is about you moving in truth, moving within spiritual truth. Because my Horus had his left eye poked out, and the left side represents the spiritual, because the right is in the physical. That's why in scriptures it tells you if you're offended by your actions on the physical, you cut your right hand off. If you're offended by what you see, you pluck your right eye out, because the right side is associated with the physical and the left is the spirit. The right is the physical, the left is the spiritual. Oh my God, there's so much like energy coming through. Whenever the Egyptians start coming through, I can't ground myself. That's the only thing, because whenever one of them comes in, they all start flooding in, and it's just a lot. Anyway, fulfilling soul contracts and remembering who you are. I have like the craziest relationship with the fam up there. It's just, ugh. excuse me for a minute, but y'all know. But again, it's moving within spiritual truth because the black egg is the truth. I love you too. We're all here for each other. Yeah. See, that's what I have to remember is to take time to breathe because I'm always like, no, I want to talk. If I didn't have to breathe, I would have a 24/7 nonstop ramble fest here. I normally do, but I would like not breathe. Like if I didn't have to. Like but I do need to like breathe and stuff. That's like a big thing. I'm just it's just I want to talk so much about this shit because it's important to know. But it's again with the black egg being the truth, the throat chakra, and the Merkaba being traveling within spirit. The Merkaba is you. It's your light body. It's your ship. It's how you move from this plane to other planes of existence, whether astrally in your dream state. However, doesn't matter. It's how you move, and you're moving in this new truth spiritually. So you're growing. It's this new you. You know, you're remembering who you are again. You're remembering that there's so many other ways to do things. Yes, there's one truth, but there's many paths to that one truth because the divine knows that not everyone's going to be able to listen to one word and then go that way. That's why it's split up the way it is. It's not, it's for you. It's for you to learn in different ways and even to learn about other cultures that you're curious about and understanding their ways of life and integrating it. Spirituality is not a way copy paste. It's about taking things that resonate with you, finding your soul fragments from different ancestry lines, and literally allowing yourself to mash them together instead of taking the bits and pieces and keeping them separate, which is what an individual happens to do. You take them and you group them together, you make them whole, you form your full self off these things because you no longer have that boundary of, oh, this is bad and this is good, and understand all of this is not really anything. It's is how it is because it's out of love. And I enjoy feeling these entities love, so I will continue to work with these entities love. And it's not to say that you don't like the other entities loves. It's just you have a preference and you have guides that are leading you down a certain path, and it's perfectly fine. That's why you can't, that's why you don't feel guided to work with all the guides. It's not because they hate you or you have some sort of feud. It's just because in this lifetime, they don't really have much to tell you. They don't have much to help you with. Though you might have little occurrences with them here and there because they just want to let you know that they're present. It's to show you that everyone's there to help you 24/7. It, it, it's it's just beautiful how it is. But we have a few messages from the Larians. I'll shuffle 5 times with this because the angels are wanting me to come through with them. Oh my lord, y'all are crazy. Okay. So I take the bottom, the middle, and the top real quick. And then we'll jump into it. But we have receive, abundance flowing, unification, and confidence. I would say, yeah, I could say that's fine. But just allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to accept things as they are. You know what I mean? Uh, I haven't worked with Ball, but I have had many, many occurrences with Ball where he has come to me and told me what people were doing. So, though I haven't had personal experience with working with Ball, I have definitely experienced his energy, and he has been quite a tattletale what people have done. There is actually a full-on reading I did. I was taking a spiritual bath and I was meditating, and Ball came to me and just was like, "Hey, these people are doing some shit." And I got out of this fucking spiritual bath and did a whole stream about it. And that I think that was the funniest encounter I ever had with them. But I'm like, that's what I have encounters a lot of these entities that people see and stuff. It's just about when you understand who they are and you understand yourself, they act differently towards you. They no longer have this like, ooh, I'm gonna overstep you, or oh, you have to work for me. It's this equal mutual respect because it's like, oh, word, I see who you are and you know who you are. So I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna let you know these things because divine contract says I have to tell you. You know what I mean? But allow yourself to receive things. Allow yourself to open your arms up fully and receive what you deserve. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like you've been putting enough work in, or anything. It's all about if you truly know that it's the fact that you deserve it. It doesn't even matter if you know it or not. It's the fact that you deserve it. You've been putting in the work. You have gateway of sound, manifestation, sound healing, and alchemy. You might need to do some subliminals. Um, yeah, see, everyone uses Baal to spy on people. There are better entities. I'm not trying to like boost people up, but there are better entities to use if you're trying to spy on someone than Baal. I had people using fucking who are Beelzebub to spy on me, and that was the easiest clocking ever, bro. You get flies randomly. Like, come on, yeah, like come on, man. Like y'all over here playing with like sand and shit, and I'm over here with concrete. But it's no offense to him because it's levels to this shit. But people got to be a little bit more, um, like I don't know. It's a funny learning journey, man. People do weird shit. But these entities really, like, once you know who they are, and you don't know them just from one side, but you know them from who they are fully, they can't do much to you. They just kind of come to you and it's like, hey, so this happened, and let me just tell you about it because I don't want the smoke. Because they don't want to get punished. Their punishment already is being summoned by a lot of these people, and I'm saying summoned instead of the other word invoked because people are summoning these entities instead of invoking them. And when you summon shit, then you're trying to control it. So of course that entity is going to turn around and be like, "Well, I'm not going to let you fucking control me because you're weird and like you don't even know what you're doing. You just read this online, so let me go fuck your life up real quick." You invoke spirits. You don't summon anything. Summoning implies you want to have domination and control. When you invoke it, you work with it. That's the difference. When you got people summoning and doing dumb shit, that's why they get dumb rewards. When you invoke these spirits and work with them the proper way, that's when you get your rewards. Genuinely, that's literally how it works. Like it's the words that matter. It gets down to that intricacy. And these witches and warlocks that are just now starting out don't know that shit, and they learn in the hard way now. They got no respect. Do you think these entities in I talk about it all the time over here. You think these entities in purgatory give a damn about your beef with someone in the flesh? They would rather be in flesh than listen to you rant and ramble about how someone don't want your ratty ass ex no more. Like, damn. Like they have been suffering for eternity, and then here comes you to make them suffer some more and get in trouble by the big man upstairs. Like, come on, man. Like they don't give a damn. They are not your friends. Oh man. But anyway, allow yourself to get into the energy to receive. Alchemize these energies. And it's very hard because again, like being someone who has been a people pleaser a lot, it's hard to receive. But understand this. The more you receive, the more you can help yourself. And the more you can help yourself, the more freely you will be able to help others. The less restraint you will have to feel on yourself while helping others because you will have a surplus of what you need. But again, sound healing using subliminals, sound baths using certain frequencies to heal. Of course, we're going over frequencies as well. But allowing that killed foreplay, so yeah. But allowing that to work, alchemize your situations and allow sound to help you manifest. We'll probably go over that next, but how sound and color can help manifestations going through because I think that's a good topic. Resources, observation, abundance, prosperity, and gifts. Again, be more of an observer. Observe things. Don't judge them so harshly. Look at them, study them. Remember, everything has two sides. You literally have two sides of your hand. Even a penny has two sides. You need to look at both. That's this whole point is the balance. When you're spiritual, you're in this balance between of who you are and who you represent. Who you represent is your flesh, and who you are is your spirit, your soul, respectively. So allowing yourself to really just observe not only who you are, not only what people have done, but as well like observe these entities and see like though they came in for a negative, what positive did they actually impacted me with? And thank them. Even though that seems a little crazy to do for those who are starting out, allow yourself to really um grow through and heal from these things. We have numerology, we have finances increase, sacred geometries, and spiritual science. Getting back into numerology, getting back into angel numbers, breaking them down like 3 3. That can be read as 33, that can be read as 6. Um however you wish to read it. It could be read as just two threes, or even 3 2 3 if you really want to get that deep with it. You know what I mean? But go with numerology. Pay attention to the science around you. Just adding up numbers, looking for the basic master numbers and things of that nature. You know, and it doesn't matter if you want to focus on just the nine number system or you want to focus on the rest of it. It doesn't matter, but allowing yourself to move with the flow. And why? I guess this is here. Maybe there is just an increase of libido, like sexual energy that you need to like release and like not have some shame or guilt over because we have sexual liberation, libido, projects, and romance with union. So again, this could be like working with more arts. Maybe you have some stress, some tension that needs to be relieved through the act of tantra. And again, not letting that feel bad because we have sexual goddesses and gods that are here to teach healthy ways how to use that. Um, Something I learned very early on is prostitution is just a misuse of the sexual healing gift. That is why they're in that field. A lot of people are in certain fields, but in that field for the 3D desire rather than the spiritual desire. You shouldn't call these people like sex workers of prostitutes in that sense because they have that sexual healing energy. That's why they're able to do what they do. Now, do they embody that for a light or dark purpose? That's up to them to decide, but understand that that is the goddess or god that wishes to embody those people and allow that to express themselves. It would not exist if it wasn't an act of love. Fornication is not a bad thing. It's about not allowing the 3D matrix to rot yourself with the act of watching porn and things of that nature. You don't know what I mean? We have flow. Surf the polarities of consciousness. I'm telling you, it's literally this, it's the conscious wave. It's seeing the polarities, the ups and downs, the spectrum of it, and understanding that though, and this the thing is, you don't even have to agree with it to do it yourself. You can just allow it to be. You just have to understand that it exists because the divine's allowing it to exist. If it wasn't an issue, it would be fixed. And right now, the only reason why things aren't being fixed is because man sees too much of a problem but not the solution, because the solution resides within. The solution resides from even having the problem itself. You know what I mean? But we have peace. We have slow down, recharge, and take a break. So again, just allowing yourself to recharge, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, giving yourself that feminine energy. And again, expressing yourself sexually with that libido energy or artistically is a feminine trait because it allows you to express that inner life source that you have. Remember, like I even said it earlier in the video today, womb man and man, like that's why the Bible always says man. It's not just talking about men. Man is just womb man. It's just man without womb. It's man without the womb. It's man that cannot create life. It doesn't have the womb. It doesn't have the chamber for the soul or spirit to enter. It has the seed, but it does not have the actual carnation happening. But we're gonna shuffle the angel deck, see what angels want to come out for y'all. Let's see who's all here. I see you. I'm gonna shuffle three more times. Let's see who wants to come out. And there we go. Of course. Of course. I said three more times, and then everyone's like, okay. We love it. We can't complain. So we got a few. And by a few, I mean a lot. We have Salaya, God who stirs all men, motivation, lifts up those who have fallen and humiliated. We have Hakamaya, the raising God, loyalty, deliverance from those who seek to oppress and brings victory. Nehemiah, the lovely God, discernment, general prosperity, the deliverance of prisoners. Messiah, God the Savior, rectification, helps one live in peace with everyone. We have Uriel, fire of God, disruption, worms of disasters, and aids in transformation. Nelachel, the only God, desire for knowledge, protection from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. So you're already protected. I got nothing to worry about, like genuinely. We have Nanael, God humiliating the proud, spiritual communication, influences religious men, teachers, and men of law. Beluel, the great and exalted God, grandeur makes one passionate towards God. Hanael, joy of God, joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples and removes negative energy. Anuel, the gentle God, perception of unity, protects against accidents and heals the sick. Hahel, God of Trinity, mission, protects against slander and impitious people. I have a lot of angels out here tonight. That's really good though. Belial, the exciting god, will and new beginnings, assist with difficult and great undertakings. So, like, I mean, you're gonna be able to move through this stuff like well. There's just a need, like, again, it's about this November the 1st, the new moon that's coming up. That's really gonna shift a lot of things. We have Haya, God the refuge. Refuge governs dreams and reveals mysteries hidden from mortals. You might need to pay attention to your dreams as well. If you can, get dream journals, get readings on your dreams, do something. Chauakia, God of joy, reconciliation, regains the favor of those one has offended. Lelahel, the praiseworthy God, light of understanding, acquires knowledge and cures illness. Ayael, the right hand of God, fame and renown, influences commerce, voyages, and great discoveries. Nithael, God, King of Heaven, rejuvenation, obtains the mercy of God and gives long life. Kathatel, the adored God, divine blessings, drives away evil spirits and rules agricultural production. Mankael, God nurturing and maintaining everything, knowledge of good and evil, appeases divine anger and cures epilepsy. Iazel, God sung above all, loyalty and allegiance, friendship and reconciliation. And last but not least, Roeshel, God seeing everything, restitution, finds stolen objects, and discovers the person responsible. So that is the reading, the little message. Thank you, angels, for being here. Thank you, all the gods for being here. Thank you, Most High Mother Father, for being here. Thank you all collective for being here. Um, I appreciate all of you. If you're wanting bracelets, hit the description, go to Spirit Otter, and use code Sibling20 for 20% off. If you're needing a reading or any other service that I offer, feel free to hit me up. You can email me or use the order form. But regardless, thank you all so much for being here, for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes and donations, whether they are energetic or financial. It does not matter. I appreciate them wholly and truly. But I appreciate all of you to the moon and back tenfold and forever. I love you all so much. Just again, remember to rest up, delve into your feminine energy, and do what you need to do to truly bring yourself joy and love in that sense. Allow yourself to relax, allow yourself to just be who you need to be. I will see you all later. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you so much.